There's no up or down. We just play it by ear when we're shading. We put graphite where things are going underneath, or also where lines are really crowded and come together. We feel like, oh, there wouldn't be a lot of light there. Here's an example of an orb that's underneath some black pearls. So I'll just put a little graphite there. And then the last thing to shade, I said where lines come together. So in my crescent moon, I have these little notches in the auras, and I'm going to put some graphite along those to kind of connect them. I am a retired French and English as a foreign language teacher. I was drawn to Zentangle in 2013 at a particularly stressful time in my career where I felt like I was losing my flow and creativity in teaching. I found some tutorials online, began drawing a pattern every day, and realized that after 10 or 15 minutes of this practice, I felt more relaxed and creative. I became a certified Zentangle teacher in 2015, and I have made probably since 2013 over 600 or 700 different tangles. I don't know where they all have gone, but I do know that I have never thrown one away. I've given them away as gifts. I've transformed them into different objects. I have some in my Zentangle journals that I keep. They're everywhere. Some of them get framed, but most don't. But they're all my children, and I could never throw one away. I have taught hundreds of people. I've taught kids. I think the youngest child was 8 years old. I've taught folks with disabilities, the Alzheimer's patients, elderly people. I think the oldest person I've taught is probably in their 80s. Most of my classes have been a service that I offer to the community, which is really important to me. I want other people to know this gift. Somehow it doesn't feel right not to share it. Zentangle is a fun, easy, and relaxing method of creating beautiful images by drawing structured patterns. It was created by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas in 2004 when they had an aha moment and realized that drawing simple patterns could create a meditative state of flow. We teach that anyone who can write the letters I, C, S, and O, and the dot over the I, can create these patterns using only a small piece of paper, a black pen, and a pencil. The difference between Zentangle and doodling is that Zentangle is a mindful practice with 8 steps that's based on gratitude and appreciation. I think Zentangle gives us a sense of agency to fight the helplessness that we can feel during difficult times. Zentangle teaches us that everything begins with gratitude and appreciation if we slow down and breathe and realize all of the beauty around us. There are no mistakes in Zentangle, and anything is possible one stroke at a time. So when students look at a piece of Zentangle art, they may feel intimidated and think, I could never do that. But as a teacher, I learned to always remind them to breathe, to relax, and that if there is a mistake, it can create something even more beautiful than what was intended if we work through it, if we work around it, if we work over it sometimes. But we never erase it because life doesn't give us erasers. In Navajo art, when a blanket's woven, they always leave a mistake, maybe a thread that's knotted in the middle of the weaving. And this is to remind us that we're imperfect, that there is no perfection in our work. In Zentangle, our mistakes that we work through boost our self-confidence, actually, and improve our problem-solving skills. The patterns and the structures that we use in Zentangle are things that have been around for hundreds, thousands of years. There are patterns, not just in nature, but of course in design, in textiles and architecture. They're everywhere, and Zentangle teaches us in being more mindful to notice what we see in our surroundings. Nature often inspires me to create Zentangle now. My walks in the forest, where I appreciate all of these beautiful patterns, the light, the shadows, the leaves, the branches, all of the growth. And I find that my work has become more organic, more colorful, and just more free in its movement. Some of the applications of Zentangle that I have used now are stress reduction. I've used it for children before testing, for adults in bereavement counseling, for Alzheimer's patients, and for their caregivers. I'm currently working on a project where myself and 3 other women create cards for Meals on Wheels for the recipients of the food packages every week. That has been something that's extremely fulfilling and gratifying, because we realize that people keep them and use them to adorn their houses, to know that someone's thinking about them. And every time that I make a card for Meals on Wheels, I always take a moment to think about the person who's going to receive it. I always ask that this card may somehow meet a need that they have and make them feel that someone's thinking about them and someone cares.